Okay, we are doing another podcast. This is the Yarn Closet from Tucson, Arizona. I'm Laura. This is my mom, Kitty. Yarn Closet AZ on Instagram and Ravelry. You have to excuse me today. I just walked over here. It's not far, but it's hot.
It's not even as hot as it's going to be.
Yeah. But it doesn't take too long, and I need walking exercise. So we are doing another podcast. I was hopeful to have lots of notes and have like an agenda and what we were going to cover. That's not going to happen. I wanted to say thank you to our Patreons once again this month. This is a fabulous thing. We have 4 lovely Patreons, Sandra and Dee, Nikita, and Erica. And you make a big difference. And once we get more Patreons, we will have more prizes. I was going to show some prize things, but I realized I need to get cranking for the beginning of next month because I haven't been able to crank with all my surgery stuff. And then we'll figure out something. But thank you very much for our Patreons. We also have a web page and a blog on there. We have a link on the web page to Growly Bear Soap Company here in Mayer, Arizona, and they do all natural products, and we send those out in our prizes. I also do a cranking service for tubes, sock tubes and hat tubes, which you can contact me through the website in regard to. What else do we have linked on there? Oh, we do some Teespring stuff, some coffee cups and bags and t-shirts. I'm not great at maneuvering throughout their system. It's kind of confusing to me. It's confusing. So I may be changing to somebody else, but, so there's a lot of links and there's different pictures. If you want to submit an article for the blog, I am more than happy to, put your information up there, your article, your whatever. It's your phone again.
What? Okay. My mother-in-law's in the hospital, sorry, and so I'm getting a lot of texts. But go ahead.
And so that's the deal. So every month you'll get a cranked sock tube or hat tube and some other knickknacks. It is summertime in Arizona, and it has finally hit. Thank you very much. It's like 108 today. Hallelujah. Love that.
We don't have humidity. It's a dry heat. Kind of like hell.
Yeah. It's not bad in the shade. It certainly makes you wrinkle faster, and your hair feels like crap. The bonus is the winters are really nice, and...
And again, the funny thing is, what makes it cool off so much? Lack of moisture in the desert, retained at night, and so it can be 108 tonight, and we'll say, I better put on a long-sleeved shirt. And then if we sit out on the patio, which we do at night, and we have, a glass of iced tea or something, and we're talking, and we think, oh, better go get a sweatshirt jacket. Nobody can understand that unless they live here. But, and you don't sweat.
No.
You don't
but
sweat.
You still need to stay hydrated.
And if
but you stink.
Yeah, I was going to say, but you stink, because that ickiness stays inside of us instead of sweating.
One upside to my surgery is that there's less sweat zone.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay, here's something. If you have great big bazangas, when I was working...
How do you know that?
Bazangas?
No.
Because I got some.
Yeah,
I know what
sure
they
you do.
Okay, if you got great big bazangas, all right. When I worked at Benedictines in the Twin Cities, okay, and I did the Benedictines, we had this one Benedictine sister. Oh yeah, but she was a big woman, but she's got like watermelons. And so she had to have belly baths. She couldn't even, she was dying. But
my mom was a nurse, She's not saying anything negative about
No.
large people. She took care of
telling you a good
people at
hint.
end of life.
And this is a great hint. So we did bed baths on her. Okay. So then at the end, you take a bazanga and you lift it up. And now I thought when I started there, well, wouldn't you put like baby powder or something under there, you know? Because you know how your boobs can
Chafe.
chafe, yeah, and kind of sweat. And I thought, oh, what the heck has she got under here? A rag. Flannel. You take flannel and you cut flannel and you just fold it up a bunch, you know, until it's, 3-4 thicknesses. Lift up a boob and you put it underneath a boob, and when the boob falls down over it, they don't get fungus and they don't
Yeah.
get stuff. So if you got
Somebody
If
you're
you're-
taking care of that needs bed baths and they've got bazongas.
they got bazangas, not a man, got a bazanga, and if, or even like here,
Yeah.
if it's hot, just don't worry about your bra and all that stuff, because that gets wet here.
Mhm.
Just put a piece of flannel. We all have flannel. What do we not have flannel for?
Oh my God, there are people who don't have flannel.
Why would they not?
Because not
Think about
everybody loves flannel the way you do because you're from Minnesota.
I like
Oh my
flannel.
God, flannel in the wintertime and we were like velcroed into our beds. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
So anyway, I
Okay.
had some finished projects, but then I forgot one of them because I was trying to sneak out without causing too much rigmarole. I sent off a shawl, and the person I sent it to got it, a scarf shawl. This one, it was made with a mandala, I don't
Is
know how
that
to say that.
crocheted or knit?
It's crocheted. I'm in a crochet
Pretty.
zone because it
me
doesn't
see the
take as
colors.
much.
Oh, the
Brain.
colors.
It doesn't
Okay.
take me as much
D-
brain
show
stuff.
it closer.
They're fall colors, yeah. They know.
Isn't that pretty?
So then, remember that gray square that I showed you last week?
I like this.
Do I still have no, I don't have a picture of it anymore. So I was doing that gray square in crochet last week. Well, it was not moving along fast enough. So then I went on and I found a free pattern, who I don't know who it was by, on
Oh, pretty.
Ravelry. This worked up so fast, honestly, the last 3 days.
Crocheted.
Yeah, 2 strands of this.
Strands or skeins?
2 skeins, but I took 2 strands
Okay, at a time.
with a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is the yarn.
We're getting a reflection on that. Hang on. Do it. No, do this. Yeah. Oh, ice cream. That sounds good.
Yeah, so it worked up very quickly. It'll be a washer, dryer, easy. And it was very easy 2-row repeat once you got it started. The other day I took some of my odds and ends and I wound them up into a big kahuna, an acrylic big kahuna. So big kahunas are, Chelsea Pearls is another podcast and an actual yarn store in Chelsea, New York.
And she calls them
And-
kahunas?
Red Bank Mike is her husband. I think he's a radio personality. He takes her hand-dyed yarns and he wraps them in these big kahunas, they call them, these really large skeins of color changing. So I decided, instead of just taking my small balls of yarn, to go ahead and wrap it up. And I did wrap it up doubled so that I could crochet something a little bit quicker. And I think I'm going to do another shawl like this one with this. So it's going to start gray, go into some different tealy blues, light blue, and then the green. Who knows if it's going to be stupid, but I think it looks okay. Because right now I just don't have the headspace for the knitting for the most part. It's got to be simple. I'm getting back this arm finally, although it still hurts at times when I reach for things or roll over on it. We're only about 3 weeks out, right?
As the mother, should I remind her once more, this has not been a long time since you had the first surgery nor the second surgery, so it takes time and it takes patience.
I know, but
End of
when
it.
they send you home right away,
Well, of course.
then nobody believes that you need the amount of rest that you actually need.
If you have open heart surgery, if you the next day can brush your own teeth, they say, "Well, what are you hanging out here for?" And you go home.
Right. So,
So be good to yourself.
yes, I am trying to. I am trying to.
I like to order her around on here because she can't yell at me too much. Love you.
I love you too. Sometimes. And
Okay, show this.
so this
Oh, look
is what
I found.
I put this over here. This is what I did for her for Mother's Day. We now have, in some of your gifts, you will have either this large one or a different size one. I did some Yarn Closet podcast cards with Knitting Kitty. It's my Mother's Day gift.
Yes, and now.
And so if you wanted to put a couple in your purse, then you could give them to people like when.
Well, I will. I just found this because I put it away someplace where it would be safekeeping. And then I couldn't find it for a long time. So now I found it.
I am so stir crazy that I'm cleaning out drawer by drawer. Literally, like one drawer a day makes me feel accomplished. And I'm not feeling guilty about the things that are getting recycled or tossed.
Recycled is a good thing. Somebody
Yeah.
else can use it.
Exactly.
I was a quilter, and you know that quilters, all of a sudden, there was a big jump a couple years ago in the cost of the fabric. And so a lot of the women said they were going to thrift stores, and at the thrift stores, they were picking out from the biggest dress they could find, biggest men's shirts, anything that had a pattern or was the kind of fabric that they could use. You know, if you pay 50 cents, you pay $1. It's a lot better than paying $15 for 2 yards of something.
Right.
So that's a recycle, and isn't that a good thing?
Yes, it is. Oh, darn.
Can you tell I'm just itching to ask her question?
Go ahead. What?
Okay, this is what I need. You're going to be so proud of me. You know, I hate these things.
I know.
All right.
Why did you use them then?
Because I want to use them. I want to learn how to do this because it's got to be easier than back and forth on those.
Well, you
those
still
things.
have to go back and forth unless you're going in the round.
But I'm using the round things, and if you're using longer needles and you're sitting in a chair,
It does, yeah.
you can't because you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need arm exercise. So, I need to find out which part I'm on. So, I got a set that I didn't send back to you because I gave her most of them back that she had said, just try these because these are so handy. Okay.
So
And
what
I
do you
thought,
think
oh,
is the
better.
difference between the Aveeno Active Naturals Positively Nourishing Body Wash Calming, that's apparently lavender, and the Aveeno Stress Relief Body Wash, that's lavender?
The label.
Okay, then I'm buying the cheaper one because Connor's going through a lot of body wash, which is fine. He's an 11-year-old boy. Thank God he's starting to shower regularly.
And do you know, if you go to CVS, should I not say CVS?
No, you can say
Oh.
something.
If you go to CVS, right next to the Aveeno, there's the generic brand.
Oh, I know.
But sometimes the generic brand is not exactly the same.
Right.
But you could try it. It's about $4 cheaper. And I get 20% off coupons there. About every other day. Because, you know, you go to buy one little teeny thing or like a gift card or something. Okay. So, you
Mom,
buy
I'm one
this
of their
card.
top 5% at that store.
I bet you are. You buy one thing.
It's the only
and,
store I can get to.
And you get this long thing of coupons and stuff. Don't throw that away. Actually go through it because sometimes it'll say 20% off of whatever. Hey, it's money. Okay, so
So
guess
why does
what?
this say body wash when I'm convinced that what I have at home is lotion?
Body wash and shampoo is the one that I have.
No, but I
here.
have this. It looks like this, but I swear it says lotion.
Well, you didn't read it right. Okay, so you know how, look at how big and round this is. That hint that lady, who was that lady on here? Speak up, lady, because you gave the best hint.
Okay.
When you get these, you just take, and they're all crunky, you take boiling water, on the
Oh, a
in
lot of
pan.
people have said that.
Oh yeah, and just put in, and it does this. And I thought, oh, thank God, because that made me nervous when it was so crunky. So right now, I'm starting over once again on this. Yes, I'm making something, Laura. I'm starting over once again on this because I decided what I really want out of this is I want a regular neck doohickey. So that's what I'm going to do.
A regular shawl, a regular cowl, a regular what?
Scarf. Okay, now I want you to explain to me. I hear you say, and other people, and this is so many yards and so many yards, and it's DK. So I thought, wait a minute, do I have that? Because I'm really getting a good supply of stuff now. Because I've been, it's all in the living room. It's that huge.
I've noticed.
Okay, what does DK weight mean? Because there's DK weight and there's sport weight and stuff.
Would you read the thing? This. DK weight.
Yeah, what does it
Okay.
mean?
Well, I've tried to explain this to you before. This, it would have this same picture and it would say 4. It would say worsted weight. This is supposedly thicker than this.
So DK is,
So you've got Aran, which is like a chunky. You've got chunky yarns. Then you've got worsted weight yarns. Then you've got DK, which is slightly smaller. Then you've got sport weight, which is like a 2. And then
Oh.
you've got this, which is like a 1. It's called fingering.
oh,
And then lace
this is
weight-
what fingering is.
And lace weight would be a 0. It's even thinner than this. Go ahead. You can
Go ahead, I can touch it.
just shut up.
Used to say when she was little, look with your eyes, don't touch with your hands.
That worked really well with a blind child.
Yeah, right. I know. Don't I always say we don't have to be a perfect mother? We just have to be good enough.
Yeah, some people say they all get to 20.
Okay, so this is very pretty, by the way, and I like it with this. Oh, this is how you do that wonky heel and toe and stuff. Okay,
So
cute.
this toe had blown out, so I'm redoing the toe. But then I don't like this needle. It's not working out. It's not long enough to do magic loop, so then I'm wondering, should I just go up instead of a 2.25? Should I just use this 9-inch that I've got at 2.5?
Is there a thing at each end? Oh, I didn't see it.
See, it's little and tiny because it's designed to. Where's my other one? Oh, it's right in front of me. You see how it's little and tiny, and it's just the right size for this.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah. So like this is the right size to make a hat, a fingering weight hat.
Cute.
So I'm gonna redo this toe. And then, because I think that the first yarn I used didn't have enough nylon, didn't have any nylon in it, so I'm just gonna redo this one. And then these are the first socks I ever actually hand knit the entire sock, and of course, I didn't realize that the yarn didn't have any nylon in it. But then some people knit them without nylon, and they're fine. I think we have so much grit and sand. Ooh, that's not what it looks like. I think we have so much grit and sand here that there's extra wear and tear on everything.
And a lot of our houses have tile floors that are, what's that kind? Mexican tile. And so we have, the grout is a little bit wider, and that grout is rough. And I think that causes holes. But
Now, pay attention also, when you're using this, you do realize that this is made of an entirely different material than those yarns.
right. I
So
just
it's
brought
going
them
to wash
differently.
yeah.
Right, right.
That's cool.
What? This?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Do you know how to undo it?
No, and that's another thing I'm asking you.
Okay.
So, and this is some other people who are new would like to know this. This I picked up. These are kind of pricey.
What was this? How much?
Okay, I'll tell you after you tell me how much do you think that they normally run.
I would say this is normally $10.
Does it say on there? It
See,
says
5,
above. Yeah.
bulky.
Yeah.
So this is supposedly
A little thicker.
thicker than this. 5, 4, 3. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd say this is about $10.
Go to Michael's, but when you do, when you get to where you see these hanging on the wall, go a little further if you're here in Tucson. And there's an odd little part on a wall where they have discount things. And guess how much it was? $1.27.
Oh my God, you were so lucky.
And so I got this one, and I thought, I don't know if I should buy more because we could give them away.
Well, yeah, but Mom, this is, what is this made of?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is acrylic and wool. A lot of people don't use acrylic unless they're pointedly using it to make a baby blanket because it's like those plastic bags from the grocery store, except worse. Those plastic bags will eventually decompose. This will never.
Decompose. Huh.
That's why a lot of people prefer the wool. And the wool of today is not the wool of the old days.
Well, anyway, isn't that
Okay.
pretty? So show us how to undo this. This is for those of you who also don't know how. What is this? What's it called?
This is a hank.
A hank, yeah. You see, when you're doing a new project,
Oh, God.
you gotta learn the lingo.
I don't know which side
Is the
that you cut. But you see that there's a spot here and a spot here that's like holding it together. This is gonna freak you out. Okay. So this is a hank, and oh no. That's what I thought.
It's 5 little ones.
It's 20 grams. Is there 100 grams total? Yeah, 100 grams.
100
So there are
grams.
20 grams. 20 grams are called a mini.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, then each mini. So then you very carefully snip this, take it apart, and you can wrap it into a ball.
Okay.
Okay. So then you've got 5 of those. Some of the people that make something that looks like this do it in a way where you can unravel it and you end up with one big, where you end up with something like this, but it's bigger, it's all of it. And then you have to put your chairs back to back and like put it around the chair so you can more easily,
Oh, yeah.
because, you know, if it gets all
In
crazy.
the old days, we did this.
Yeah.
We made our kids, because they'd sit still. They couldn't go anyplace. You want a cookie later? Sit still and do this.
Right. And
And we knew where they were.
nowadays you just do whatever you do.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
good luck.
so that's pretty. Okay, so look at this.
But then you have
Now
all those ends.
Yeah, that you have to weave in.
Yeah.
And always make sure you're doing them from the same spot, same side. And if you start
No.
here, no, because they'll all look the same. If
Okay,
you change
if you're
colors.
changing colors, but there's a way to change colors without having that blip row.
Show me that someday when we do that.
Yeah.
Okay, look at this.
That is ridiculous. I hate that.
Oh, and see, it's a little sparkly, a little shiny. All right.
Okay,
First,
sparkly is not this. Sparkly is actually sparkles, like glitter in the yarn. This is
kind of
shiny.
Shiny. All
This
right.
is a shiny yarn. See, it says shiny.
Shiny, soft and shiny.
And this is also, I'm guessing, 100% acrylic.
Is that?
I'm looking. 100% acrylic, right there.
Mm-hmm. And I got 3 of these because I love these. You
Oh, I know.
I know you and I have different color things.
She can handle a lot more busyness. I mean, I like color.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
even have me turn around. I like color.
Her whole back is beautiful.
Some
all
people like
in color.
But
you
I
can't
like
do
it
that.
more gradienty. I like it more.
Softer.
Yeah, I love this.
This goes with
know.
softer. This goes with my personality a little better.
Yes.
Because I'm very
In people's faces. Your phone is making noise again.
No, I was not going to say in people's faces. I was going to say I'm very, what's outgoing, ingoing? What's ingoing?
Extrovert versus introvert.
That's it. That's it. And I'm really an introvert. But I have an extrovert outside.
You're not an introvert. No one would ever say that. There is no test you would ever take that would make you come out that way. You have to leave the house every single day or you go stir crazy.
What am I going to do when I'm in a nursing home someday?
It's going to suck.
They're going to have to medicate me heavily to get me to stay in my room all day.
Uh-huh.
And the other people won't like me because I'm too in your face.
Yeah.
Okay, but see, this goes with my personality. So I got 3 of these. $1 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't pay a penny a piece for these because this is not you.
I would
But-
make something out of that for someone else and I might enjoy it, but I wouldn't. Which is funny because I do spend a lot more money than you realize on hand-dyed yarns.
Good yarns.
Good yarns
See, and I'm just
with
buying
silk and wool and cashmere that are very colorful.
Yeah. I just have to look at this one. Yeah, go ahead.
But, you know, to each his own.
Okay.
It's okay that we're different. We all can't wait to see some kind of finished object.
Okay.
So anyway, I am back on track in the sock realm of my goal this year to get 1 pair of socks from a sock tube made for myself every month. I might be a little bit off on when those things get completed, but I do believe by the end of the year I'll have 12 to 15 new pairs of the wolf socks. I really love them. They actually keep your feet much warmer. They're self-wicking. I throw all of mine right into the washer and the dryer, and I do it a lot. Some people only wash their socks like once a month. They either have 50 pairs
Yeah.
or they either have 50 pairs so they can just do that, but right now I only have like 6 pairs.
I bet I have 4.
And so
you've given me.
I just throw them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a hung hem. It was cranked by someone else. It's a red Lolo Did It Sriracha, I think, yarn, which I love. And then this is Happy Valley from Knit Picks. I'm gonna make a sweater out of this someday.
Oh, that is
But
good.
they really stand up. I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear and washer and dryer.
Mhm. She gave us these socks. These are in a separate drawer.
Mhm.
And
And isn't it funny that I can
love
tell you
these.
right off the bat what those are?
yeah,
And you watch some of these podcasts and you think, how do they know that? Did they look at notes? No, you really do just remember.
yeah. Yeah.
How does this gonna look on someone? This is just as much yarn as I had. That's why it's the size it is. You know, the bonus is I'm blind, and so I can always give it to some teacher at school, and she'll think it's so fabulous because, oh my God, that blind lady made it.
Okay, here's a couple more questions.
Oh my God.
All right, so I wrote down some things here because I have a shawl that I'm going to make that I have picked out, and I decided this is my favorite pattern. It's called a shawl with no name or something like that. And I wrote this down. We use big markers on paper so that we can see it better.
Yesterday at the doctor's office, Jared complained about the pen to fill out the paperwork. He's like, this is too heavy black, it's too big, it's too thick. He sat down, I said, Jared, they do that on purpose because it's pulmonologists. Most people aren't as young as you who come here. Their eyesight is much worse. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
they do that.
So a couple of these. So I had to look up KFB, knit into the front and the back of a stitch. So just pretend that.
Are you going
that-
to rip this out again?
Oh, I can. I haven't gone very far in this. Okay.
You want me to show you what
do
that
it.
means? Okay,
Do
I'll do it.
Knit into the front.
Okay, but you have
And
to
back.
actually have it set up correctly.
Okay, so it
Because you
sets
know
up in the
the
back.
yarn needs to come out of this. Okay. So knit out of the front, knit out of the back.
Okay, knit into the front.
Okay, so you knit normally in the front. You leave it on the stick.
Mhm.
Then you go through the back also. So now I have made 2 stitches and I have not yet taken this off of the needle.
So that,
increased.
Okay, so RS is the right,
Right side. So you normally mark the right side with a stitch marker.
Okay. K2 tog.
Knit 2 together.
Knit 2 together. Okay.
So knit 2 together. You go through the front like you normally would,
For
but you
2.
go through 2 and you just knit and they both come off.
And that decreased.
And that decreased.
Down to 1.
Yep.
Slip 1.
Slip 1, and sometimes they'll say knitwise or purlwise. So if you're slipping one knitwise, you're going like this and slipping it. If you're slipping it purlwise, you go like this and slip it.
And just slip it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Slip 1.
With yarn in front. So if you're purling and they want you to slip one, you bring your yarn in front. It's usually when you're purling, and then you slip one. Okay, now what?
With the yarn in front. Okay. Slip 1 with the yarn in
Stitch
front.
marker, yes. Or sometimes it's PM for place marker.
Okay. Knit 2 together, TBL.
Through the back loop.
Okay. Knit
So,
2 together.
Back loop is here. So I'm going to go through the back loop.
Through 2.
And
Knit 2
knit
together.
through the back loop. The reason for some of these things is because the look it will give you. So
It
you know,
gives you a look of lace. Aha.
doing different ones
Yeah.
gives different lace effects, but do you see how you get this ridge pattern here? So if you're going to do a bunch of darts in a sweater, and you do the darts all the same way, even if you're not getting a ridge, your yarn is going to line up a certain way. Because see how our V's line up a certain way?
Yeah.
If you start to decrease or increase, they're going to slant a certain way.
Okay.
And so sometimes you want to be able to see all the same slants so it looks more appealing. But yes, the reason you
More
do
symmetrical.
things like this is usually in lace patterns. The other thing that you'll get in lace patterns is a yarn over. So you're knitting, yarn over, then you knit, then you knit to the end, then you're going to turn. Now watch this, because how many knits did we do at the very end? We knit 2,
Knit 2.
and then we had that yarn over. Okay. So now here is the yarn over. Do you see how that doesn't look quite right? You can
Yeah.
see that it's a yarn over. So you can knit it, and that's going to make a hole here
Right.
and an extra stitch.
Right, because I watched one the other day.
Sometimes you'll do 2 yarn overs, and then you'll knit, knit, and pretend we're at the end. Knit, knit. Now we're back to these 2 yarn overs. Sometimes you let them go. You just pull them back off in the next row.
And it'll tell you to do that.
It'll tell you to do that in the pattern, and then I'll show you what you get. Do you see how this yarn is splitty?
Yes, because
This yarn is because you've redone it so many times, but also because do you
it's
see?
mohair. So.
No, it's not mohair.
Whatever.
It's acrylic. It's 100% acrylic. So if you had a row of these, you would just get a long row of these spacey little lines. It's because there's very little twist to the yarn.
Yes.
This yarn is twisted, so it's not going to untwist. This yarn
Right.
untwists very easily and splits.
Yes, it does. But it's a good practice one, and it was cheap,
is, yeah.
remember?
Yeah, remember you made a shawl out of that for Prue's teacher last year.
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have to talk about?
I lost this ball of yarn this week, and I was so pissed off because I'd managed to get this sock done, all ready to put in the next heel, and I couldn't find it, and it was the only one I have of this. I think it's Folsom. I don't know. But I found it, so I'm almost done with those. And this was going to be although it's a 72 count tube, it was going to be like wristers.
Wristers, like an arm. This is the top of the arm, and that's the bottom of the wrist.
Wristers are not fingerless gloves, because fingerless gloves would have a spot for the thumb to go through.
Yeah.
Wristers are just, they keep your wrist warm.
Oh, all right.
They're just short. And I use this, and I did not intend to use this yarn, because I also was making another granny square shawl that I was not able to get out. And it was out of this Lorna Laces River.
Allergies.
And so now I think I'm just going to go a few more rows and actually make this into a pair of socks also. Because I like red and orange and purple. I like those colors.
Mm-hmm. And this is not in your face purple. It's again kind of a muted purple.
Right.
And
I
you
wouldn't
like that.
I wouldn't go for
I know you wouldn't.
neon 80s purple. I didn't do neon in the 80s.
Well, I didn't either. But if I had a chance to buy this and pretend I was going to make something out of it, pretend is the key word there.
We're all waiting.
Yep.
We're all waiting.
We all are.
So our winner from the last podcast did get her package and she loved it.
Okay.
That was good. And we now have like 205 subscribers. Thank you very much. Subscribe, comment, and you will be in the drawings. We actually have one of our podcasts that's gotten over 300 views. So it's gotten more views than we have subscribers.
Which one is that?
It's a couple back. We have to be careful. Last week we said some stuff about somebody, and then the son wanted to watch the podcast, and I'm like, oh no, that one's an hour long. You can't watch that. That's too far, too long. We got it.
Your son.
My son.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations, Dee.
Yes, Grandma Dee has
She's doing live now. She's figured out how to do the live ones.
right, because you can't do live on your pads or phones anymore. You have to do it with an actual computer.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I found out on the Zoom how to do it where we can record. You have to pay them. It's like $200 a year. It's ridiculous. And I might be in a Zoom later today with Hadley, School for the Blind, about being a blind crafter. Because I'm on their board of people that give feedback on a lot of different things, because I've taken so many different kinds of classes through them.
Mm-hmm. So I had a woman just recently who said, very well-meaningly, she said there's something that you could do. Wait until, you lose all your eyesight, but then you can always learn Braille.
For what exactly?
Well, that was my thought, and I thought, okay, now just a second. If I learn Braille, then at Christmas time, all right, so Christmas comes, and I get some, not that I send out Christmas cards, truthfully, but I get some Christmas cards, and I fill out labels in Braille or something and put them on, and then I send a Braille Christmas card out to you. You could read it. If I send it to my best friend, she'd say, I have no clue what she's talking about.
The thing is, you can learn Braille before you're completely blind. I did. But Braille is a dying language because of technology.
Right.
The majority of Braille is used just for labeling. And in things like elevators and on the cash machines and stuff like that. Because to do a Braille book, it takes up so much space, and it's hard to find places that you can purchase them.
Yeah.
And why would you if you can listen to stuff?
Right, because we can listen to audiobooks, we can listen to a
And the
podcast
thing is,
if
if
see
you
it.
don't have somebody living with you who's going to screw up your stuff, then you organize things a certain way. You put rubber bands around certain foods when you put them in the refrigerator, because my husband says this all the time. Why is there a rubber band around this Tupperware container? because it's the same Tupperware container as 2 nights ago, and now I know which one has the corn and potatoes and which one has the hot dogs and chicken.
Remember Grandma Jewel, my mom, was lost her vision, and she put her canned goods, instead of on a shelf, she put them laying down in a drawer. I thought, isn't this clever? She said, I don't need my silverware in this drawer. I need my canned goods in this drawer. I thought, whatever, Mom. And she only had a few silverwares, and she just kept them in like cups. Here's a mug with all of her spoons and stuff, and so she had, okay. But it was in alphabetical order. And she said, I can tell, you know, they go in alphabetical order, but she said there's ridges on the top of cans. And so I know how many ridges are on a corn can, how many ridges are on a green bean, but everything went in alphabetical order. And I thought, good for you, Mom, because she was a good example of a lot of handy hints.
Yeah.
If you're going to take a med in the morning and in the evening, in the morning, I can't hold
Oh, that was so annoying. We went to an appointment yesterday, and this PA was telling my husband, well, just set it out by your toothpaste. I'm like, we have children and animals.
Yeah.
Well, so what? Well, so what? You want our 4-year-old to take this pink pill twice a day or 16 of them at once because he's got, you know,
Yeah.
the big thing? I mean,
Yeah.
do you not get it?
Yeah. My mom had all her meds arranged so that, say this is a med bottle, if it was a morning med bottle, it was set with the cap on top. So then she would know in the morning, okay, I need to take this.
And then flip it
And
over.
then she would tip it over so it was upside down. She knew she had already taken it. If it was something that went twice a day, she did the same thing.
Yeah, no, somebody asked me that. I don't know. She's like, I was looking at my mom's pills, and some are here and up and down. I'm like, oh, that's because of when she takes them.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you know, and things like everybody in my house has a laundry basket, and I do our laundry all separately. And I do them on one. I don't do different kinds of loads.
It's called Color Fast or something
Yeah.
like that, and you can get the generic ones that are way
But I
cheaper.
can't do my husband and son at the same time because then I would give the wrong underwear and socks to people
Right.
because they're, you know, close but off or whatever.
Yes. So the other night, Monday night, I had company for dinner. It was an old friend who came down from Mesa, and she was a knitter before. Knitter, quilter, everything she was. And so she saw, she's like 2,400 corrected. I mean, she sees literally
Well,
zip.
she sees, but it's blurry.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
not that she, unless her vision is like less space,
Yeah.
less field of vision, she still sees. She sees light and dark, but things are confusing because they're blurry.
Yes. And so she said, well, Kitty, she said, how are you doing this? And I said, you know, I can sit and I can do this, and I can feel as I'm going along. I feel that it's just one stitch, and so the garter stitch is really, that's a deal for me. So, because I don't have to think then. But then I can watch TV, and she said, you can feel it. That's right. I'll bet you anything she goes home and picks up her knitting again, because she was a quilter and a knitter and stuff. And, you know, women who are used to doing something, you sit and you're doing quilting by hand, or you're doing the binding by hand, and you're watching TV and you're doing, we get used to, I can't just sit.
No, it's difficult.
You need to have something in your hands that you're doing
It's
at the same time, like the crocheting and stuff. And you could see this light bulb going on, you know, like, holy cow, I forgot about that, I can do that.
So my husband said something to me yesterday because I brought this shawl with me to work on, and he made a comment because I don't always bring things to work on. It depends on where we're going, how stressed out and tired I'm going to be. And I basically said, well, I'm working on this because if I'm working on it, then I'm not talking. Because I need to just keep my mouth shut.
You know, it doesn't look nice when we're going along in a car and we have duct tape over our face. No, that's, then they think, oh, he's kidnapping you.
Yeah.
Trust me, my husband would not want to kidnap me and take me anywhere. He would pay somebody else $5 and say, keep her for at least an hour, okay? Give me a break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I went to a play the other night. It was a preview, and I have a table for 2 reserved. So Ed sat, the set designer came and sat with me at this table for 2, and Ed sat at his table way further back. We sit there, and you know, I can, because it's in the second row, so I can see pretty much what, you know, he's looking at and stuff. And he said, you know, Kitty, he says, we've been friends for a long time now. And he says, and I really like you, but I think it'd be hard to keep up with. And I said, keep up with? Honestly, don't you think I'm kind of mellow now?
Yeah, she's very
This is
mellow compared to
Hyper Hannah.
30 years ago. Oh, good God.
One time we went to a cabin at a lake, just Laura and her dad and I, and by 6:30, I couldn't stand it anymore. I thought, oh my God, there's garage sales going on someplace starting at 7. I gotta get out of here. And I'm, you know, going around and trying to make breakfast, trying to make noise. Nobody gets up. Nobody gets up. Do you know that this is a true story, isn't it? I went out to the little porch, and I was drinking a cup of coffee, and her dad got up and came out and said, open the door, and he hands me my keys, and he said, do not come back until at least 10 or 11 o'clock. Goodbye. Shut the door and locked it so they could sleep. Oh my God, I didn't take that as an insult at all. I was as happy as a clam. I thought, I got money, I got a car, I got keys, I'm out of here.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so Tom the other night was laughing about it. He said, so I think Ed doesn't actually mind it when we switch, and he sits in a further back, and I sit up, and I said Ed sees it as time off for good behavior, that he gets away from me. We both had a good laugh about that. So that's it. That's about it that we have for today. What else do we have?
So are you actually going to do that pattern? Are you going to start and have
The
progress
shawl.
next week
Yes.
in your shawl?
Yes, but it says that I have to use a sport weight, so now I have a reason to go to.
But you don't have to.
Oh, don't tell me that, because if I have to, then I can say, Ed, let's go down to the yarn place down across from Rincon Market, which is an old place here in Tucson. We all know about it. Burned down.
So
a
one of
couple years
my
ago.
friends is actually making
Redone.
leather measuring bracelets for the Birdhouse Yarns here in Tucson. It's our one fancy yarn store,
Oh yeah.
and yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the one across from Rincon?
Yes, that's the one I used to go to on Sundays.
Well, I don't know the name of it. I just know where it is because I mark things in my mind, being I don't drive, according to what
Oh, yeah.
restaurants are close by, and
It's gonna be hot for the walk home.
and I'm telling you, if you want good French fries with any kind of sandwich you're having, you want to go to Rincon Market. Shout out to Rincon Market. They
Yes,
don't have yarn today.
No, but across the street is where Birdhouse Yarns is, and that's
Yeah.
our local LYS, local yarn store, and they have on Sundays from 1 to 4 or 1 to 5
A yarn.
just open knitting, and the store is open for normal stuff and whatever. This is my favorite tattoo. It's my lettuce in my armpit.
A head of lettuce, not a lot
It's
of.
actually not a head of lettuce.
What is that?
It's some kind of
What is that?
Asian flower. It's in seafoam, and so that was why I picked seafoam for the color of my circular sock machine. We all have to have a reason.
There again.
Look with your heart first. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.